up your YouTube, search for Stukeley Meadows, watch on your big screen.
Or another device if you're at home.
Get yourself comfy, this could take a while. What a happy scene. Something new every day for your long-term memory. This is so exciting, it is nearly time for a Stukeley assembly.
Well, hello there everyone, and welcome to today's Values Assembly. Let's kick this off in the usual way. For each other we, every day we, to improve we, and together we will. And our everyday focuses are, and our motto is, and our Stukeley curriculum is, and 4 words that always make magic happen. Brilliant. Well, as I've said, welcome to today's Values Assembly. I've continued to have 1 or 2 more contributions from people. Remember when I set up the Work Hard, Be Kind Champions? Well, I've had a couple more trickle in from people, which I've absolutely loved. So please keep those coming in. If you can think of somebody just during the course of a week that you think has really demonstrated what it is to work hard and be kind, and for you they are a Work Hard, Be Kind champion, then just put me a little detail on a piece of paper, and you can leave it on my desk or pass it to one of the other teachers that will put it on my desk in my office, because I really do enjoy reading them, and I would like to continue to be able to share those as part of our Values Assembly on Tuesday. So keep going with those Work Hard, Be Kind champions. So 2 weeks ago, we began a series of assemblies about or focused on British values. The first one was about a word beginning with R. Does anyone remember what that was? Yeah, it was a respect assembly. And then the one last week began with the word F. Yeah, it was a friendship assembly. Now, both of those things obviously naturally go together. You can't have successful friendships or relationships without respect. Our school is totally built on respect. We know that the words we speak to one another are powerful, and that if we choose to use words that are mean and unkind, then they hurt other people. Showing respect is taking care with how we speak to one another, but obviously it's also about how we treat one another, the actions that we take too. We do not try to cause physical hurt, for example. Good friends don't do either of those things. Another aspect of friendship that many of you probably discussed last week when we stopped to think about friendship and values was the need for honesty and truthfulness. And that is the focus of today's assembly, honesty and truthfulness. Now, I want to start with this question. What is a lie? Pause me and have that conversation as a class. What is a lie? Okay, have you had that chat? Well, hopefully you all realise that when we use our imaginations and we're playing kind of pretend games, that is not the same as telling a lie. A lie is something that is not real and is not true, but it's told as if it were true on purpose. That someone's deliberately told something that they know to be untrue. Now, I wonder how good you are at sorting lies from the truth. Now, I'm going to read some statements, some of which are true and some of which are not true. I will pause after each one to allow you to respond. If you think it's true, you're going to give it a thumbs up. If you think it's untrue, you're going to give it a thumbs down. So is everyone ready? Thumbs up for true, thumbs down if it's not. Okay, first statement. Winter is cold. Should see true, thumbs up, good. Next statement, rain is wet. I'm sure I saw more thumbs up for a true. Next statement, the sun is cold. I'm sure we've got some untruths there with our thumbs down. And the final one, the grass is blue. And I'm sure we've got another thumbs down for an untrue statement. Now, I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking, well, those are just silly examples. It's obvious which are lies and which are truths. And anyway, it doesn't really matter either way, because nobody's actually going to get hurt by telling those lies. So saying the grass is blue is just a bit daft. It's not actually going to hurt anyone. And that is true, because not being honest when it comes to something really serious, though, is a problem. And it can cause hurt and it can cause harm. Now, I'm going to tell you a really famous story. It's actually a fable, which means a story with a particular moral or a meaning. And it's written in its original form by a very famous writer of fables or author of fables, and he was called Aesop. Now, here is the story, and I'm going to read it to you, and I'm sure it's one you've all heard before. There was once a boy whose job it was to look after the sheep in the village where he lived. The boy often got bored and so would think of things to do to amuse himself. One day he decided to play a trick on the villagers and shouted "Wolf" when he was in the field. He knew that all the villagers would come running to protect their sheep. And of course they did, but when they got there, there was no wolf. They were absolutely livid with him. The next day, however, the boy hadn't learned his lesson and he was bored again, so he thought he would play the same trick again, shouting "Wolf" at the top of his voice. All the villagers came running just as before, but this time they were furious to find that there was no wolf, and off they stomped back home. A little while later, a hungry wolf stalked through the grass to attack the sheep, and the boy cried "Wolf!" But of course, nobody came, and sadly, none of the sheep survived. Now, I wonder what we can learn from that story about the importance of truthfulness and honesty. Pause me now and just for 1 minute as your class discuss what that story is trying to tell us. Now, I'm sure from that story that you can all see that truthfulness is really important for trust. For people to trust us, they must be able to trust the things that we say. When the boy cried "wolf" 2 times and they found it was a trick, when he did say it in the right way, when he was actually being truthful, nobody could trust him, nobody could take him seriously. If we tell lies, people cannot trust us. And trust is so important to all our friendships and relationships, both at school and at home. The problem is that sometimes we try to cover up the truth rather than owning up to it, especially if we've made a mistake. The thing is, nobody likes to make mistakes. Nobody likes to admit that they've made mistakes. Our tendency is to want to try and cover it up. Imagine that you borrowed your friend's or maybe your brother or sister's phone, their precious phone, without asking them. And then you drop it and it broke. Disaster, right? What if you just put it back and pretend that you know nothing about it? That way you wouldn't get into any trouble. So should you put it back, pretend that you don't know anything about it and deny all knowledge when people ask, or should you own up to what you have done? You can pause me if you like and have that discussion. But I wonder though, what would be the consequences of those courses of action? Now, firstly, if you did decide that you were going to take the option of covering up your mistake and hide it and pretend you didn't know anything, the thing is you will have caused hurt to somebody else. After all, your brother or your sister or whoever's phone it was that you borrowed, your friends, absolutely love that phone. It's probably really precious to them. And now it's broken, so they're going to be really upset. Secondly, they might end up getting into trouble with their parents, mightn't they? Because probably the parents have bought it in the first place and then they actually get into trouble when they haven't actually done anything. That's even worse, isn't it? Getting into trouble for something they haven't done and knowing that you were the real reason that the phone is broken. What about, worse still, they found out it was actually you and the truth got uncovered before you could own up? They would find it really hard, wouldn't they? A brother, a sister, or even a friend would find it really hard to trust you again and believe what you've got to say. I'm not sure they would actually want to be friends with you again, really, after that, maybe. The relationship has been put under such strain because you have told a lie. They have been harmed by that. And now they don't know what to make of it. They can't trust you. They can't take you at your word because they don't know if you're being honest and truthful. covering up the truth is as bad as actually saying something that isn't true, actually telling a lie. Covering up the truth is not honest either. Now, the thing is, although you might well have got into trouble for taking something without asking and then breaking it, you'd be in trouble. You might get grounded, I suppose. There might be other consequences, but that wouldn't last forever. The thing is, losing the trust of a friend or someone in your family might be a lot harder to recover from. It might be a lot harder to win back their trust. And actually, it would have been a lot easier to have gotten into trouble and been grounded or whatever for having owned up in the first place. So being truthful and honest is really important to all our relationships, and it's important for our school community as a whole and for our wider communities. So this week, I want you to make it your mission to speak the truth and own your mistakes, because after all, we all make them. So this week, speak the truth, own your mistakes, and that is definitely the Stukeley way and also part of our wider British values. Have a great week, everyone. Take care.
Thank you, Mrs. Stevens. Looking forward to more values assemblies straight after half term, after you've had a nice break, time away with your families. Right, shout outs to finish. I've got some brilliant news to finish with. Keep listening in, listen really hard. First of all, birthdays. We've got a couple today. We're saying happy birthday to Alicia in year 2 and Isabella in year 5. Happy birthday, girls. Pretty sure you're having a great day already. Hope it carries on like that and you'll see family and hopefully some more friends later. And you can celebrate again in the half term. It was Jacob T in year 4's birthday at the weekend, and I was on playground duty with the year 4s yesterday, and Jacob spent 5 minutes telling me about his birthday. It was brilliant. I want to hear more about birthday celebrations, Stukeley. Come on. Right, that was birthdays. Then, we've not had this song in a while. Let's have a little accelerated reader celebration song. Come on. Who's been reading lots and lots? Who is the reading leader? Who's been taking loads of quizzes on Accelerated Reader? Who's been reading lots and lots? Who's the reading leader? Who's been taking loads of quizzes on Accelerated Reader? Yes! I love that one! Right, I came round school yesterday and I'm coming round today. Remember that I do check to see what you've been reading and how you've been quizzing. There are some children doing some fantastic work, reading at home and quizzing. I mean, shout out to Harry and Anna in year 3. Yeah, they're just reading like there's nothing else to do in the world. I mean, literally, book, quiz, and they're loving it. They're not just doing it for the points. They're doing it because they love books. So well done you two and everyone else that's reading regularly at home. Got some AR certificates. We've got some millionaires. Robbie in year 3. You've made the millionaire, Robbie. That's a brilliant achievement. We've also got Georgia in year 6, who's a multi-millionaire. She's done 2 million words, Georgia. Malik has done 3 million words in year 3 this year. And Bella has also done 3 million. Benjamin is very, very, very close to 5 million words, and not far behind him is Abhishek in year 5. So there's some children that are loving reading and the quizzes are showing millions and millions of words being read, which is fantastic. Just before I move on to rock stars, big shout out for Finley in year 2. Year 2 have been doing some assessments this week and last week. Just like the rest of the school, we're checking to see how you're doing. Finley has done absolutely brilliantly on his reading and his maths assessments. He's been working so hard in school and at home, and he's gotten brilliant scores in his tests. And when I went in to say well done Finley yesterday, the smile on his face was enormous. So well done Finley, shout outs for you. Let's finish with rock stars, numbots. Who's been doing lots of maths? Jam is stored in jars. Who's been calculating lots on numbots and TT Rockstars? Who's been doing lots of maths? Jam is stored in jars. Who's been calculating lots on numbots and TT Rockstars? Right, in foundation stage, top 3, Roman, Alia and Matthew in Juniper, and in Rowan we've got Reese, Amanda and Xavier. You guys are the top 3 in each class, but how are the final scores? Well, 21,395 in Rowan, only 13,436 in Juniper. So well done Rowan, you take it. Year 1, Numbots, top 3 in Magnolia, Freddie, Lily, Sadie. Their big score there from Freddie. Top 3 in Cherry, Emily, Maya and Nelly. What are the scores like though? Well, 20,038 for Cherry, but it's 36,211 for Magnolia. Magnolia take it again. Year 2, the last 3 weeks it has been Maple. Will Pine come back? Will they stop Angus? Let's find out. Well, Pine class got 29,751 last week. Maple, 42,844. An even bigger score from Maple. You guessed it, top 3, Angus, Leon and Jack. Massive score from Angus. Please get some sleep, Angus. And Olivia, Elsie and Otis, top 3 in Pine, year 3. Well, Yasmin, Ellie and Bo were the top 3 in Lime. And then Harry, Adam and Rizwan. Well, Rizwan making his way into the top 3. Come on, Rizwan. Good work. They're the top 3 in Willow. What did it do to the scores? Come on, Willow, you're going to get there eventually. Willow, 15,479, and then Lime, 29,659. So Lime take it. Year 4, top 3, Zyra, Edward and Alan in Acacia. Birch, Berwin, again, no one can stop Berwin. Berwin, Harrison and Jasper. Those were the top 3s. Who got the most? Well, only 4,628 for Birch, and 5,099 for Acacia, so they won, but that's a bit of a miserable score. Come on, 4s, year 5s. Tashina, Sophia, Leah, Farrell, Elizabeth, Abhishek. They were the top 3 on each side. 6,327 for Beach, 8,413 for Chestnut. Well done, Chestnut. Finally, year 6, Janet, Matthew, Evie, top 3 in Oak. George, Heather, Jake, top 3 in Sycamore. 6,408 for Oak. 10,944 for Sycamore. They take it. Right, just before, most important 60 seconds, I've got a really wonderful story to tell you about Stukeley values. This is the perfect assembly to do it in. Over to the hall and to me with some children. I love a great news story, and this one is brilliant. Let me tell you about something fantastic that happened with Stukeley children last week. Now, Roman in foundation stage was at the park last week. Roman, come and jump up here, buddy. Now, Roman's standing on a bench, because if not, it doesn't quite work. Anyway, Roman's at the park with his mum, his little brother, and his teeny weeny little sister. And you had a friend as well, didn't you, Roman? So Roman's at the park. Roman and his little brother, how old's your little brother? 2, 3? 2. Roman's there with his little brother. And they both go running off. Roman goes into a hedge, like some trees, goes one way, his little brother goes the other way. Now, I think you've worked out what happened. We ended up with Roman not knowing where his little brother was, and Roman's mum didn't know where his little brother was either. And I think you all know what happens when you can't find your children, you get a bit panicky. So Roman's mum goes out to look for his little brother, and then a load of Stukeley, Team Stukeley get involved. In you come. So, these guys, super team, these guys are all at the park. Now, some of them are at the park with their families, some of them are at the park just because they're old enough to be there on their own. Anyway, they all went over to see what the problem was. Roman's mum says, I can't find my little boy. Anyway, they all went out looking. They managed to find Roman's little brother. He kind of got himself stuck behind like some brambles. Yeah. He got himself stuck. And I think he was a bit worried, so he wasn't able to kind of shout for help. Anyway, 2 of them went in, managed to get the little brother out, and then they led him out. And then Roman was happy, his family were happy. I mean, what a lovely story. Stukeley children helping out the community, and Roman's mum's heart must have been pumping like that. She must have been, oh goodness me, where's my little boy? Good news in the end. Let's give our Stukeleys a big round of applause. Brilliant. I love hearing stories like that. And Roman's mum just said, please share that with your community to show how brilliant people are. Right, back to assembly. That was a great story. Thank you to the family for giving me permission to share that. And thank you to those children who were absolutely exceptional in their behaviour and in their Stukeley values. Well done. Let's finish with most important 60 seconds.
The most important 60 seconds are coming up now. The most important 60 seconds are coming up now.
I love walking around this wonderful school and seeing great learning behaviour. I love walking around and seeing children sat in their places listening hard to their teachers. I love walking around and seeing children with pens and pencils working really hard to write down or draw or list or make notes about what they're supposed to be doing. I love walking around this school and talking to children about what they're doing. I love seeing children moving from one place to another silently and quickly and in a brilliantly behaved way. I love seeing children outside with their playground boxes, playing nicely, listening to each other, taking care of our surroundings. We've got 4 days left before the half-term break. Keep that all going. Keep putting a smile on your face, your teacher's face, your family's face. And the Oakleaf Bookshop's open this week, so come and have a visit.